California will step up enforcement of coronavirus-related public health restrictions after crowds jammed beaches over the weekend, Governor Gavin Newsom said on Monday. Newsom's announcement came after local officials in Orange and Ventura counties allowed access to their beaches even as state parks remain closed, prompting families and groups to head to the ocean on a warm spring weekend. The crowds put at risk the state's progress in slowing the advance of the novel coronavirus and could delay a possible loosening of restrictions that was just weeks away, said Newsom, a Democrat. The beach crowds exemplify the tension that officials throughout the United States are dealing with as residents chafe under stay-at-home orders and some states begin to loosen them. Newsom said he would not direct state police or park rangers to issue citations to individuals who were just out quietly with their children or walking their dogs. "I don't want to be punitive," he said. "They just wanted to take a rest on the beach and all of a sudden they get a citation. I don't want to see that. But if there are people thumbing their nose and taking a risk, I think we may have to do a little bit more." The two counties that opened their beaches are reconsidering their plans after people thronged their shoreline spots, prompting criticism from public health authorities, Newsom said. He warned that fatalities and new cases were still ongoing in California, where 45 people died of COVID-19 in the past 24 hours and 1,300 additional cases were diagnosed. "The virus is as transmissible as it's ever been," Newsom said. "It doesn't take the weekend off. It doesn't take any time off. It is ubiquitous, it is invisible and it remains deadly." Two additional states, Nevada and Colorado, have joined with California, Oregon and Washington to develop a Western regional plan for reopening their troubled economies and allowing residents to begin somewhat more typical social interactions. But coordinating public health rules and schedules for reopening across 5 states may be complicated. Hours after Newsom chastised Californians for crowding the beaches, Washington Governor Jay Inslee said his state's parks and other outdoor areas would reopen on May 5 for golf, hunting, fishing and other recreational activities. Participants will be expected to follow public health guidelines, and the parks would close again if illnesses spike, Inslee said, but the announcement stood in contrast to the California governor's efforts to keep beaches closed. "Outdoor recreation is one of the best things we can do to promote physical, mental and emotional well-being for Washingtonians during a time of great stress and isolation," Inslee said. Besides, Texas to lift some virus-linked restrictions, restart business in phases, Governor. Texas will allow its coronavirus stay-at-home order to expire and begin reopening businesses including restaurants and retail stores in phases beginning on Friday, State Governor Greg Abbott said. The first business reopenings will require safe practices including limiting the number of people allowed into stores, movie theaters and malls to 25% of their licensed capacity, Abbott said on Monday. A second phase of openings could begin 2 weeks later. "We want to reopen as quickly and as safely as we can," said Abbott, citing the use of capacity limits that match those now in use at grocery and home improvement stores in the state. The second phase of the openings will depend on the status of the outbreak in Texas over coming days. If infection rates continue to decline, the state could allow up to 50% capacity limits on May 18. The state's number of new infections has declined for 17 days and hospitalization rates have been stable. The restart reflects residents' commitment to safe distancing, data on infection rates and the importance of entrepreneurs to the state's economy, Abbott said. Doctors and healthcare professionals are allowed to open their offices on May 1. Hospitals will continue to be required to reserve a portion of their beds for COVID-19 patients. State officials will consider lifting restrictions on gyms, bars and hair salons at a later date. The state is looking at ways to reopen child care and summer camps for children, but has made no decisions.